What's going on, everybody? This is Master Salim of Progressive Taekwondo Academy, and welcome to Tap In Tuesday. Um, this weekend, the Progressive Taekwondo competition team traveled to New Bern, North Carolina, to compete in Master Hama's North Carolina AU Championships, and it was a great tournament. Um, it was well attended. There was good competitive balance there at the event. Sometimes when we go to local tournaments, um, there's always a fear of not having anyone in your division to compete against. But the tournament was ran well, and all the divisions usually had about 3 or 4 kids in it, and it was good. And they all weren't from the same school, and so there was a lot of variety. And so we had a great time testing our skills, testing our mental makeup, and persevering through any adversity that we faced that day, whether it was low kicks or it was upset stomachs, whether it was dealing with the fluctuating temperatures or the weather outside, right? We had to persevere in order to complete the task and accomplish our goals, which was showing up and doing our best. And with the AU, they tend to, well, with most organizations, when you get your coaching certification, you have to take some classes that sort of make sure that you're up to date on the knowledge and information about your sport. But sometimes they make resources available to you in addition to the required coaching courses. And as an entrepreneur, I'm learning that I need to take advantage of all the free resources I can. And so the AU offered a course from the Coach Alliance, and it talked about building your culture, right? And what's a healthy culture for athletes to grow and thrive in. And one of the things that happens when we go to tournaments is that we get caught up in the moment or the results of the tournament, right? We look at the scoreboard, and sometimes we let the scoreboard dictate how we feel about our performance or how we feel about ourselves. Um, Sometimes we're in a position to compare ourselves to others, and we may see somebody that's super talented, or we may compete against somebody that's super talented, and in turn, it causes us to view our skills differently, right? Sort of lose confidence when we compare ourselves to someone else. And then the third thing is that tournaments sometimes teach us that mistakes aren't okay, because in a tournament setting where there's a competition, sometimes a mistake can cost you the victory, or cost you to not do as well as you wanted to do, may not do as well as your parents wanted you to do, may not do as well as your coaches wanted to do. And all of those things sort of enable students to develop a negative perspective about their performance if they don't do well. If they do well and they excel, then if the scoreboard is in their favor, they're feeling good, right? If they feel like they're the best in their division, they're feeling good. If they feel like they had a perfect day, they didn't make any mistakes, then they're feeling good. But right, when you're building a team culture, you have to account for all the variables. And we know in a perfect world that may happen, but the world isn't perfect. And so people are prone to have good days and bad days, and there's always an opportunity for growth in those situations. And the one thing that the coaches course said that really hit home with me was the elm tree of mastery, right? And it talks about what mastery is, and it says use the acronym elm tree to help you remember about mastery. And mastery is, right, elm tree, ELM, E for effort, L for learning, and M for mistakes are okay. And so in turn, if you're going to a tournament or if you find yourself competing against somebody else, you can only control what you can control, right? You can't control the venue. Sometimes you can't control the schedule. You can't control how well the event is run, right? It may be a long day, We had some students were the first to compete and the last to compete, and so they had a long day. We can't control those things. What we can control is our effort, right? How hard do you work when it's time to work? We can control any opportunity that we have to learn, right? Learn from watching somebody else's effort, learn by putting ourselves in situations that are uncomfortable and realizing that we are ready and building up our confidence and learning that we're better than we think we are. And the third thing is really learning that mistakes are okay, because the mistakes are what allow us to pinpoint what we need to work on that allows us to get better. But if we're in that fixed mind state, and I did some tap-ins about the growth mind state before, but that fixed mind state where everything is finite and we don't believe we can get better, right? We get caught up in that moment of that negative experience. It's tough to get out of that and grow, but if we change our perspective and our perception creates a new reality, right, where we understand that we're on a trek to get better and that the tournament is just one step and helping accomplish a long-term goal, then we're able to put things in the right perspective and allow ourselves to get better. And one of the students came in today and he lost his sparring match. And when he came in, I told him, I was like, you fought well on Saturday. And he was surprised because he didn't think he did well. He was looking at the score. He was thinking about how many times he got kicked in the head, right? And he probably was also thinking about me yelling at him while I was coaching because, right, emotions can get high. And I wasn't really yelling, but I was saying things forcefully because he needed to do things right then and there. And learning to listen to your coach is part of the tournament experience as well. But we just sat down and I talked to him about everything that he did well and how sometimes we compete not just to win, but we always compete to get better. And so this is Master Salim with Progressive Taekwondo Academy. Just reminding you guys to push yourselves, compete against each other, compete against other people, test your skills, test your knowledge. But remember, the goal is always self-improvement. Win or lose, the goal is self-improvement, and to keep that right perspective and that growth mind state. And don't limit yourself to thinking that performance defines you. That performance defined what was happened that day, right? It has no weight on tomorrow or the next day if you take it as a learning experience and build off of that. And so this is Master Salim with Progressive Taekwondo Academy. Peace out, tap in, and remember that Elm Tree of Mastery. Mastery is effort, learning, and knowing and recognizing that mistakes are okay. Peace out and tap in.